was it like coming back to London after being away for so long?
Well, there lies another question. Like, it's, because I had my fiancée, she didn't even know where I was. See? Because you only got little letters, little slips to write on, to send home. And I think it was about 3 or 4 months later that they knew I wasn't in this country. I'd gone, but they didn't know where I was. Didn't have a clue. Out there, like, we was up at Rawalpindi, which is like near Afghanistan, you know, went up there for a while, and I think mainly to give us a rest from the heat of the planes, to go up in there. And at night time it was absolutely freezing, because we were in shorts, short trousers, tropical heat. So I was up there, and anyway, not all that long, came back to our base again, and then getting towards the end of the war, the Japs were getting belted, getting hammered, and we flew off all the way down to Ceylon, getting ready to go to Sumatra, you know, to push on the Jap side, and they dropped the atomic bomb. So they dropped that one, and that's on Hiroshima. And a week or more later, they dropped the one on Nagasaki, which wiped out the whole towns, complete. Trees underfoot, so it was right in the middle of the jungle. Cigaria, Minaria cigaria, big rocks sticking up there in the cigaria, and I don't know what was on top of it. Some prince or something lived up there, and you could go because it wasn't there for long. We used to fly around. We go flying around it, and because you get matlows and wrens coming up as a day trip from Trincomalee to go up, and we used to fly around it with side edges open, play with the girls. But
you've seen some really interesting places.
But anyway, it's eventually went to Bombay. That was the end of the war, more or less out there. And it was strange because where it's all go every day, all of a sudden nothing, no reason to be there. But of course, we flew. When they dropped the bombs at Ceylon, we flew straight back, right up to Bombay, and then straight on into Burma. Because we was, same again there, we wasn't supplying the Chindis, but there was Japs and all that in the jungle that had to be got out, brought out. And the same up in the Chin Hills, the tribes people were starving, you know. And of course then we was dropping supplies in. And that used to be hairy, because you used to fly. Because drop right down into a valley, about 100 foot above the ground, and you see all these people, coolies, all around, waiting for the drop, and we'd come in there, and of course what we used to do was push the stuff out, you know. But first time I went, I was in the nose, and you talk about scary, you're a 100 foot, 4-engine bomber, going along, and look at it, and also I looked up, and all I could see was a big tree.
Oh my God. Go straight back.
Anyway, coming home, a bit delayed I was there. They said to me, I got to Bombay. They said, well, if you'd been here 2 hours earlier, you'd have been on the boat. So I had to wait another month.
Another month?
Months before I got a ship.
Are there only boats every month or so?
You know, depending on what it was. But I was there another month, you know, because all you want to do is get home.
Just go home, yeah.
So anyway, here we got, come home, and the ship was called the Britannic. Was it Britannic? Britannic. Big liner. And across the Arabian Sea and down the Suez Canal. And stopped down there for a night, and which was interesting because during the night the ship had pulled up alongside, right alongside of us, and there's us, you know, perhaps 1,000 odd troops, and we looked over the side, and there's all these girls laying out, as though it's on the holiday scene, all on the deck and all laying out. You know, because it's so hot down below, they're all up on top, because there's us all coming up from the hold, and hey, look at this! And of course, then you can imagine the barrack in then, like, when the lads are like, hey, And they were nearly all Australian girls, coming back from Australia.
Right. Okay.
You know, our troops all out that way had met girls and married them in Australia, because they was all coming back to Blight, which was a very interesting night, that was. But anyway, it got back to Liverpool, and all you wanted to do then was get home, you know. And so...
Did your family know you were coming back, or was it a surprise?
Well, in the Suez Canal, I sent a card, you know, wrote a card I sent off, and sent this card off. And I said I'll be home, I think it was the 17th. And anyway, I got to Liverpool and I said, I want to get this done, Oh, you'd be pushed to do that. Anyway, I got away from Liverpool a day earlier. So it was on the 16th I got home. Come to Charing Cross, or one of the stations, and I've got full kit bag, and a second kit bag, you know. And all this stuff, and the chap came up to me, because I suppose he's ex-serviceman. Where you go? Give us a kit bag, mate, I'll give you a hand. So he gives me a hand to get it on the train. Nice. And so we got home, strange as anything, got out the train, and I'm there putting my gear on, because you couldn't get this train with all this time. And the train went off, and the old porter said, leave it all there, he said. Because you had to, Eltham, you had to come over a bridge, see?
Okay, all right,
See?
that's not there anymore.
Get over the railway, in other words. So, because I had to get the other side. So he ran across the tracks and he brought all the stuff over to me to get my, and then I had a mile walk home, you know, with all this gear on me. Like, walked up to the door and they say, what was it? Like, walked to the door. And of course all the family were evacuated, the young ones, because I hadn't seen them for practically 6 years. See? So I got to the door and it was my brother Charlie came. He was the fourth boy coming down the line. And because he'd been down in Devon, and all my sisters, younger sisters, all in Devon, evacuated. And I said to him, as he opened the door, I said, come on, let your brother in. And he stood there, and of course he's like this, but he's up here. He said, oh, you be Fred.
You'll be Fred.
You be Fred. So I went in like, and my old grandfather was sitting there, I thought the world of. His sister was doing courting on a settee. So anyway, the old granddad. But mum and dad weren't in. Anyway, so I said, well, they'll be in any time now. So then anyway, I heard them coming to the door like, and I stood behind the door, I said. And she said, I suppose as she walked in, waddled in, because she was a biggish woman like this, she waddled in. And the old granddad were supposedly looking at her like and smiling, and I suppose she was all smiling. And then she twigged and saw me, like I was standing back. Well,
she must have been over the moon to see you.
Well, she threw her arms around me. Got more kisses then. I can't ever remember being kissed by my mum, because she was so busy having children, 9 of us. And my girlfriend, I said to me, my old dad liked it, because he had a car, he's one of the rich ones. I said, Dad, well, she can shoot me overnight and get Ida. And she waited all that time, you know. And mind you, as I got 18 and she knew I was going in the force, she said, shall we get engaged?
Yeah, engaged.
She got the ring. She said, oh, well, can it go? She said, Tower Bridge Road. She was working up there, she was a tailoress. She said, Fred said, I've seen a nice ring in the shop, you know, pawnbrokers, I suppose. One sapphire, or one diamond on it. And she come home and I said, well, how much? That was £9. So, all right. So we got engaged, and that was it.
And she waited all that
But she came with me, when I went into the forces, she came and saw me off up at
so she waited
Paygate or somewhere, I can't remember now where it was. So she came up there. And the funny part about it is, when I went over to her, bang bang on the door, she came to the door and she's got In them days, they all tied a silk scarf around her head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, I suppose she was doing a bit. Oh no, she was ironing.
Yeah.
She was ironing. And I stood there, and I just stood there like, and I said, well, I'm back. And momentarily, she just stood looking, and all of a sudden she, and
Such a shock.
yeah, do you know what? We took off as though we'd never been away. Never been away at all. She loved dancing, off we went. And that's how it went. And because she was 22 then, it's 22 and a half, you see. Because I was nearly 24.
Yeah.
So we took all this dancing, and then strangely said, my mother, I'm sitting in the door with my feet up, you know. This is about 6 months after I got home. And my mother said, Fred, she said, it's about time you got married. And the time you got married, I said, oh yeah, I suppose so, Mum, yeah. And I said to Ida, I said, Ida, about time we got married. And she organised everything, you know, she went out and she got organised all. And of course, she'd saved all through the war, so did I. And I got in the Far East, I said to the officer, I said, I want so much of my money deducted every week, because I didn't know whether I'd be coming home. I said, I want it deducted every week as a saving. She said, you can't do that. I said, I'm doing it. And that's what I did do. So when I come home, my mother nearly fell over when she saw me bank book, the amount in it. I mean, if you talk about 250 or 300 £300, it was a hell of a lot of money in them days. So that was it. And anyway, that was it. So I come home in 46, 47, we was married, and 48, had my daughter Gal.